Hi, I'm Alex and I'm your host on this colorful mini painting tutorial. In this video, I'm gonna show you how I paint rust effect on blades. It's very useful on skeletons or even on the Nighthaunts, which is one of the models I'm gonna use for this tutorial. As you will see, it's a very easy recipe to do, but the effect is quite convincing. Take your brush, take your paint, and let's paint some rust. We'll be using a black paint, here Game Color 1, and black metal paint from Scalecolor. For the rust effect, I use Typhus Corrosion, Targor Rageshade, the contrast Gryph-Hound orange, and Kalamari orange. And finally, to conclude with the effect, I'll use Nihilakh Oxide and heavy metal from Scalecolor. You will have all the references along the way. So to start, I will apply a thin layer of black, pure black. Here I'm gonna use the Game Color black, but you can use any black paint you have. It's gonna be okay. Why am I doing that? Because I like to have a dark black, and the Chaos Black undercoat there is a little bit light, and I want to darken it for my metallic effect to be as strong as possible. Once it's dry, I'm gonna apply 2 thin coats of black metal of Scalecolor. I really love this paint. It's a great metallic paint. If you have another reference, it's gonna be okay, but maybe you want to dilute it a bit and to mix it with some black paint, so you will have a dark silver metallic paint. That's the idea, to have quite a dark base there to start building up our rust effect. So 2 thin coats, and this is what we have. Then we will start with building up the rust effect, starting with Typhus Corrosion, which will help us build some kind of texture. Typhus Corrosion is a very good technical paint. It has very small grain of sand inside, and it will really build up a texture on your metal. So I really focus there on some areas I want to be really old and rust, and so that's why I'm really focusing on the recesses of the sculpt. Don't be too heavy with the Typhus Corrosion and dilute it with a little bit of water. This way it's not as strong as it is straight from the pot. Here it's very diluted. It helps me blend what I've put with the undercoat of metallic silver. Then we will use a mix of Gryph-Hound orange and the Targor Rageshade, so that we can have a very nice dark contrast orange layer. This will be the first step to start building up the really orange flavor of what we are going to do. So as you can see, it's very translucid, and I'm gonna focus already on the areas where I've been before. Well, the idea is to focus on the part of the blade that is very old, and the more we paint, the more we focus on the same area, but with less paint and less paint, as you will see. It's a bit of a random recipe, basically, because you let the brush talk. Follow your brush, basically, and you can already see quite a convincing rust effect at this point. You could maybe even stop there if you want, but I will not. I will continue to build up my effect, now using pure contrast Gryph-Hound orange. This will enhance the saturation of my orange, so I will focus on small parts, smaller areas. I don't want to make a complete wash of my blade. I want to focus on the parts that are the most damaged by the rust. So I basically go where I've been before, with less paint. Just think about the water. Where does the water go on this blade, and this is basically where it should be rusted. Step by step we have more and more layers, and we have nice contrast of silver and orange, and this is what sells the rust effect at the end. So I finish with a very diluted wash of my Gryph-Hound orange and applied in a selective way, as you can see. And once it's dry, I have a very nice rusted effect already. So now, to finish with this orange, I will use Kalamari orange of Scalecolor, which I will mix with matte acrylic varnish from Vallejo. This allows me to have a very matte orange to really finish the effect, and I really love that because it's gonna contrast a lot with the bright silver color that we will put at the end, and it works so well. It really sells the impression that the rust is real, you will see. So again, I will focus on the very small areas that are already orange, but doing some strikes like this, and it's gonna put very bright orange dots here and there, and again this increases the contrast of what we are painting right now, which helps make it more realistic at the end. And you see those really flashy orange dots, they really give you the impression that it is completely rusted. So to finish, a touch of Nihilakh Oxide to simulate some oxidation on the blade. And again, very light, a little bit with water, and I applied this diluted version of Nihilakh Oxide again on the parts that are the most intense with my orange color. And I also focus on the recesses of the blade, because this is where the water could go, basically. As you can see, I'm very light with my Nihilakh Oxide. I don't like when you put too much Nihilakh Oxide on the miniatures. I like when it's soft. But again, it's quite a random application of this. And it really works well with the orange color. That Nihilakh Oxide is really a great paint. I really love this one. You can do many things with this technical color. And using it like this, diluted and with very small dots, I really believe it works well. It gives a very nice contrast with the orange. And once it's dry, you have a beautiful rusted effect. It's so easy to do, frankly, and it's so fun to do. And this is the last part, but quite an important one, heavy metal from Scalecolor, which is a brighter metallic color than the one we used at the very beginning. And we're gonna do a edge lighting with that in order to bring back the metallic aspect of the blade. Mainly I'm focusing on the edges. I want them to pop up, and this will sell the effect. You will see it's really working well. Once you have all this rust effect everywhere, having the edge like that, well, it works so well. It really gives the impression of cutting edges, having the edges so bright. And as you can see, you can also go and do some weathering with your metallic paint. Here and there you can do some small dots or some weathering basically. And that's it. Then you have a quite effective and easy to do rust effect on the blade. and you can of course do that on anything you want. For instance, an armor of a skeleton. It should work quite well as well. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you liked the video, like, subscribe and leave a comment below. It's always cool for me to have some feedback. This is the first video of the channel in English, so please tell me if you like it, if you want more, and I will be very happy to produce more tutorial for this English-speaking Colorful Mini channel. Thanks, have good paint, have good games, and see you around.